Good morning. Tuesday morning. Heading now, not to Tel Aviv, not to Jerusalem. Heading to Bnei Brak. That's the first time I've said those words on the vlog. But I'm going there to meet Yoni Assia, who is a serial entrepreneur and a guy I've been connected with probably for a decade. We've never actually sat and talked business. So I'm going to meet him this morning, then heading to Ra'anana to meet another one of my favorite CEOs, Eli Hoffman, the CEO of Seeking Alpha, an incredible financial site that is completely dominating the internet from Ra'anana. Most people don't know it's an Israeli company, but it is, and he's a phenomenal dude. He's been on the vlog before. We're meeting at Kazan, one of my favorite restaurants, so it's going to be a very cool day. Let's do this. Always love discovering new buildings. Look how beautiful this place is. In Bnei Brak at eToro HQ. Okay, so this is a super duper speedy interview here because Yoni here has to run because I very much appreciate the fact that you're a man of integrity. You said you're coming to speak at this thing and it was a calendar scheduling issue, but you're leaving and I love you for it. So I'm forgiving you this time. We're gonna have a follow-up. Yoni Assia, who are you?
I'm Yoni Assia. I'm the CEO and founder of EToro.
There's always, behind every great man is a great woman. Who's your wife?
More Assia.
The one and only. She was on the vlog before. Angels. Okay, a topic for another time. We're going to have another follow-up, but you're the CEO of EToro. You've been an entrepreneur, you have entrepreneurship running in your blood. I feel like, how long have you been an entrepreneur?
I've been an entrepreneur basically since I was a kid, but right. I've always founded startups. So when I left the army, I founded Citiride. I finished doing that. I founded eToro.
How big is eToro?
We're about 550 people roughly around the world with offices in Europe, UK, China, Incredible. Australia, Japan, and the US.
Not that this is an indication or anything. I'm just literally rushing because you have a cab waiting for you downstairs. Just to give some context to the viewer. How much money did eToro raise, or what's out there? I don't know if there's information you want to talk about. But
we've raised to date $162 million.
I mean, this is a beast. It's a rocket ship. You guys, in like 1-2 sentences, what is eToro?
eToro is the largest social trading network in the world. So we have 10 million registered users who can trade stocks, commodities, indices, currencies, and cryptocurrencies. And everybody can see, follow, and automatically copy each other. So it's a social network and an investment platform for people to actually collaborate from all around the world.
If I want to invest, I know nothing about investing. If I follow Yoni on eToro, I can see what he's investing in and I can follow your...
Yeah.
Okay, that's...
Yeah.
Really simplified, right? You're new, let's call it baby. It's not so new anymore, but you're big, very bullish on
crypto.
That's your kind of new thing. We're not going to talk about what we're here to talk about, what we talked about today, because again, you're in a rush and it's a topic for another time, but is it okay to say, and if not, I'll edit it out, that there's something happening?
I think crypto is a huge revolution. We've been involved in Bitcoin since 2010. I think this is a beginning of a new, open, global financial system, which is super important.
It's like the Internet 2.0, I would say.
This is Fintech 2.0. This will eventually replace banks, insurance companies, the biggest companies in the world.
All I'm saying, and I'm going to let you go right now, is you tell me if this is okay to say, there is big news coming from your side in that world. Can we say that?
Yes, definitely.
Big news.
Definitely.
All right, we're gonna have a follow-up. Go to your talk. Thank you for your time, man. Good coffee, and we'll continue this conversation in regards to your wife, all right?
Thank you very much.
So Yoni had to run to his talk, but I'm sitting with this guy, hearing about this product that we can't talk about yet. More to come soon. Who are you?
I'm Oded. I'm here in eToro for 10 years already.
10 years. What's your title here?
Marketing director.
Marketing director, which is cool. But you know what's really cool? That your wife is a rock star. And by the way, what's with like knowing people in eToro? I also know their wives. But many years ago, I was a guest at a hotel in Israel called the David Intercontinental. His wife runs marketing there, and we've been in touch over the years. I met Steve Wozniak in the lobby there, so it will forever be a special place in my heart, the David Intercontinental. But big fan of his wife, Nama Benjor. Big shout out, Nama. I hope you're watching. If you're not watching my vlogs, but anyway, we're gonna give a little tour here of eToro because there are how many people work here around?
350.
350. And altogether globally, how many people in eToro?
550.
So you guys are an absolute beast. Let's walk around and see this place. This is finance?
And here we have product.
New product. Cool.
Called eToro X.
eToro X, I love it.
Yeah.
All the cool companies have an X.
Yeah. These are eToro X people.
What's up, peace? What up? What up? I love it. Great energy. Love it. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, best view ever. My God.
No, the other side is better.
Yeah, well, I'm saying.
You'll say that the other side.
Incredible views here.
The account manager is the customer service representative.
Oh my God.
We have the languages, Arabic, Italian, German.
How many languages?
Arabic, Italian, German, French, English for also different countries.
Incredible. Incredible.
And more, and more. We need more people, so.
Like to hire people, you mean?
Yeah, so.
What are you hiring?
Come on.
Everything.
Everything.
All right, so let's check out etoro.com/careers. Booyah. Honestly, I have to give a real kind of fist bump to Yoni for that, because his secretary came in the middle of our meeting and said there was a scheduling issue and he was supposed to be giving a talk on crypto in some place, and she came in and said, you can send someone else. And like, no, he goes, no, I committed and I'm gonna go. And he ditched our meeting. And I actually think that's like a really good sign of leadership. I thought that was super cool that he did that. And we continued the conversation after he left, but I have to say it's a good leadership quality, integrity. Anyway, going to meet the CEO of Seeking Alpha now in Ranana. Made it to Ranana, going to Kazan. Amazing restaurant. One of my favorites for sure in the country. And meeting Eli Hoffman, so pumped. Beautiful city. Love it here. Just gotta find where I'm going because I'm not really sure. But I'm in the area, so we're good. And I'm early. Finishing up a food coma inducing meal. How was that steak? Oh man. Kazan and Ranana, it's the best. All right, so I literally am late to my next meeting, but there was zero chance that I wasn't getting this guy, sorry for calling you this guy, on camera, because, I mean, talk about unique stories, right? So I'm gonna now, because we've done an interview before, you have to give your background, you know, go watch that other vlog episode. It was probably 100 episodes ago.
Link it up, Joe.
There you go. There you go. Wow, you know your stuff. You should, you want to just take the camera and call it a day? Okay, so who are you? What's your name?
Eli Hoffman.
Eli Hoffman, CEO.
Seeking Alpha.
SeekingAlpha.com. Give me a statistic so people understand what is Seeking Alpha. Stop, forget statistic. What is Seeking Alpha?
Seeking Alpha is the world's largest community of investors.
Enough said. By the way, like, you're a CEO. I wish the marketers that I knew pitched that clearly. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so give me a statistic just so people understand how much of a beast Seeking Alpha is.
We publish 350 or so articles a day from an active contributor base of about 5,000 investors.
Wow. So I'm just going to say one thing. One thing only. When I tell startups every single day of my life, if you produce good content, you will build a brand. You guys haven't only built a brand, you built an empire around that very concept. Your product is your content, right?
Our product is our content.
And you built an absolute market leader, dominator. You dominate the financial market in terms of investments and analysis, et cetera, et cetera. Completely Israeli company.
Yep.
You know what's amazing about Seeking
Born
Alpha?
and built.
Nobody knows that it's Israeli. Do you find that?
Yeah.
People are like, Seeking Alpha, it's Israeli? Nobody knows.
I'd say about once a month, somebody comes up to the second floor of 47 Anasim, where our offices are, and they knock on the door, and they said, Seeking Alpha? What are you doing here?
That's hysterical. Okay, so just kind of want to, because out of lack of time, otherwise I could talk for 45 minutes, where do you see the future of both Seeking Alpha and I'm totally putting you on the spot. I'm just curious to kind of try to get into your brain, because I feel like you have access to like this world, the financial world that is completely out of even though today's my second finance interview, totally ironically, but where do you think, given all the trends, given whether it's blockchain, whether it's all the different trends in the finance, how do you think, if you had to kind of name one trend over the next decade that will fundamentally kind of change the financial industry as a whole, including investments, including analysis, what would you say the most significant trend is?
At the risk of talking my own book here, we're very much a sort of research publisher, and I think the research publishing industry is in the middle of a complete overhaul. There's a regulation that came into Europe called MiFID II, which basically decouples the research providers internally from the rest rest of the company, meaning until now you used to pay for your equity research by trading with the company. And so it was a hidden cost, and you didn't really know how much you were paying for it, but it felt like a freebie. And the regulators in Europe have already put a stop to that, and they've said you have to actually pay for research explicitly. Many U.S. companies, even though the U.S. is slightly behind Europe in actually putting through the regulation, have stopped doing this in the U.S. as well, because they have global operations that they can't do things in one way in Europe and different things in the U.S. Why is this important? When you're not paying for research, it doesn't really matter how good it is, right? It is what it is. I get it for free, right?
No expectations.
And so you didn't really have to justify what is it that I'm doing that justifies this, maybe for the large firms $50 or $100 million a year that is spending to produce this research with extremely high-priced analysts, etc. That didn't matter. It was part of a much larger operation. Suddenly, and there's been a lot about this in the media, a lot of the big banks, Deutsche Bank, etc., going out there and saying, we now charge $60,000 a year per seat for fixed income research. And people are, what? I wouldn't pay you $60,000. I wouldn't pay you $5,000 for that. On what universe do you think I do that? It was a freebie, it was great. I'm not going to pay for it. And what that's really done is I think it's thrown the ball into the court of the independent research providers, the independent research providers, right? Who know how to create a product that people will pay for, because that's always been their challenge. And so it's really given, I think, an opening for independent research providers to step in and say, I know how to add value because I've always had to have the rigor of giving people something they would pay for.
You know, I'm going to add one thing to that. And chances are you disagree with what I'm about to say, but I've said this to analysts, I've said this to execs, and I've said this to many people in this world, analysts, right? Gartner. I have friends that are senior in Gartner, and I hope they succeed, you know, for the rest of their lives and all is good. I fundamentally do not understand how an organization like Gartner exists in 2018. I do not understand how and they're obviously a multi-billion-dollar organization, so I'm obviously wrong, but like, I cannot even imagine building an entire sustainable company on a model of pay for my reports. I mean, again, clearly I'm wrong, but I don't see how that's sustainable in 2018. Everything I get from the apps on my phone to the movies that I watch, not me, I mean, I'm legal, but if one wants to, right, for free. People don't pay for content. They just don't, and the publishing industry is bleeding because of that, right? The paywalls and horrible, it's the Wall Street Journal, the big Wall Street Journal. Paywall, really? I click on a link from Twitter, I have to put up, it's crazy. That's not a good experience, but they haven't figured it out. And so the concept of paying for content, you know, in general, I feel like is a nut that has not been cracked yet. But anyway,
well, I do definitely disagree with that. I think, however, you have to have a compelling model, right? You have to have something that people will gladly pay for, and that's really hard to do when so much content is free. And so you have to understand what is your niche that you can do that isn't being given away for free, and people have to pay for it happily, because if they're not happy to pay for it, you don't have a business.
But there is something, and I can't put my finger on it. There's something very different, and again, my opinion, perhaps I'm wrong, between paying whatever, $60,000 for a professional report, you know, by some analyst, and paying for independent, you know, like the Seeking Alpha analysts, which are people. I mean, they're investors. They're not sitting at a desk somewhere, and you know, they're actually investing, and they're sharing their insights from the field.
Well, it's much more than that. I mean, in our investor marketplace, right? When you join one of the 170 marketplace services, it's not that you just get these dry PDFs from the guy who runs the marketplace. He's sharing trading ideas in real time inside a live trading room. A lot of the value is from the community that he's built. So we have, you know, one of our contributors who only infrequently, he's runs a very large and very successful service in Seeking Alpha, very infrequently stops in there himself. He's basically built this great community where the community itself provides the value. And so it's a very different experience than just, here's content, now go read it. It's interactive, and it's working out stuff together.
I mean, you've literally, I think if anyone's cracked it, you guys have cracked it. It's unbelievable. I've been a fan of Seeking Alpha before I even knew you. Well before I knew you. I mean, for a long time. Anyway, listen, I mean, I can't do an interview with you and not mention the fact that I absolutely love the fact that you are the CEO of Seeking Alpha and you look the way you look. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I was going to do the whole, I'm going to do the Seeking Alpha. Look what he looks like, but he's like, we did that last time. So, point is, I hats off, no pun intended. Like, I personally, on a personal level, I love it. I love how you balance, you know, the ultra-Orthodox Jewish life and the business, quote-unquote, secular life. I think it's amazing, commendable, and you've obviously, you know, mastered that balance. So, again, hats off to you, and hopefully hopefully we should have this meeting quite often. This is a good place to meet because the steak here is bonkers. But in general, it goes without saying. I said it to you before. I'll say it again. Anything I can do to help in any way, shape, or form, consider me a weapon in your arsenal. Like I said, a big fan, and I've always been a big fan. So take me up on that offer, and I'm going to run to my next meeting now. Thank you so much for your time, and let's keep the discussion, the dialogue open. Thanks. Made it home. It was a pretty cool day. Pretty chill day, but a pretty cool day. But the skies right now, the weather right now is so perfect. It occurred to me, I have not droned in quite a while. It's not too hot. The skies are amazing. I think it's time to drone. Going to fire it up. Got some cool footage. Now I'm gonna do a little tracking me. So I'm gonna run and the drone's gonna follow me automatically. Watch this. On that note, broke a sweat here, some good droning. Tomorrow's gonna be great. See you then.